Morning fellas, Ben back again. So this time it's swapping out the sprockets, the front sprocket. This has been there on the motorcycle for 20,000 kilometers. And if you guys see the condition of it, this would be a new sprocket, and in comparison to this, if you guys can see, these fellas are starting to bend. And what happens when you have the sprocket warping or when they go out of shape is that there will be a little bit of a lateral play that will start happening in your system, your chain and sprockets, and this will also result in very slightly poor acceleration. A lot of noise. Apart from that, slightly poor acceleration is because these teeth, they'll start wearing out. If you compare this to the size of a new sprocket, you will know that we've lost about 1 millimeter, almost about a millimeter of material in the old sprocket, and they've also started bending and sideways too. If you guys can see this, the difference between the used one and the brand new one, these teeth are wider, substantial, good width, and this will hook up with the chain way better than the old ones. This is from a brand called Esjot. Esjot. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's because this is from a German company, Esjot, so maybe J might be silent, but all said and done, the difference between the RK sprocket, the RK chain and sprocket came as a kit, and the difference between this and this is considerably light compared to this, is because of all the holes that they've drilled into this. So, and that is also keeping in mind performance. So the 520 pitch upgrade kit sees to it that the front sprocket is lighter, the rear sprocket is lighter, and the chain is also lighter in comparison to the stock chain and sprockets. So now this is 20,000 kilometers old. Of course, I can flip this and put it back in and have this run for some more time, but then again, that will eat into the chain's life, and I don't want that to happen, and hence I got myself a replacement 520 pitch. I will mention the part number in the description. Important thing, the part number is 50-320-5115. 50-320-5115. And this is what is going to be a replacement for the RK chain and sprocket. Listen to this carefully, guys. This cannot be a replacement for your stock sprocket, because this is a 520 pitch chain front sprocket. The stock sprocket and chain kit on the Himalayan is a 525 pitch, and for that you'll have to go in for a different part number. I will mention the part number for that as well. So this came from Moto Usher, and this is Esjot. I don't know if the camera can get this well. This is Esjot from Germany. This is a two-way sprocket. If you guys can see, there's no projection. Unlike this is more like a one-way sprocket. I believe this is a one-way sprocket. I could be wrong. This little projection over here, this kind of tells me that this is a one-way sprocket. This has to go a certain way, go in a certain way. So just because now because this is a two-way sprocket, if you guys can see, there's a flat side here and a flat side here. I'm going to be considering the flat side going in. I'm going to be taking the flat side and pushing it in. Pulling this out is no big deal. Loosen the lock nuts and everything, kick the wheel, let the chain become all loose, nice and loose, and then what you do is, this is a retainer clip that goes on like that, and then the lock nut on top. So this retainer clip is bent onto the jam nut, so that this doesn't come loose. And this was quite loose when I tried opening it. It's because of all the torque, all the ripping. So a retainer clip which can be beaten back into shape. And I mean, you have plenty of videos online to see if on how to remove and put back sprockets. Let me just do the whole of it and then get back to you guys. Yep, so some modification had to be done. Nothing is a straightforward swap on the Himalayan. This is the sprocket that came from Esjot, and this had a lip here. This had about a 4mm lip, 3.5-4mm lip, and because of that, This is the lock nut or the jam nut for the final drive sprocket. And if I were to take this out, you will be able to see something which is very important. You will be able to see this fella. This fella. This is like the retainer clip or the locking tab or locking washer for the lock nut, so that the lock nut does not come loose. Very, very important that this grabs on to the, see, it has the same grooves for the drive shaft, and this has to grab onto the shaft, and the rest of it folded back to lock the lock nut. Well, what happened with the new sprocket was because of the lip. What happened? This came out considerably to a point where I couldn't have the what can I call this, lock nut go in and sit on the drive shaft. What I'm trying to say is the sprocket came out so much that there wasn't enough room for this to bite or hold on to the final drive shaft. This sprocket to a lathe and grind all that the extra bit away that was sticking out. I grinded it, made it flat, flush with the side, and now this is just like a factory replacement. Take this out, put this back in, and you're good to go. Let me just get done with that, and then I'll get back to you guys. One more thing, check for wear on the final drive shaft. See if all is well. The condition of the spline, all the splines. Just see if all is well. If everything looks good to you, only then proceed. Do a little bit of a cleaning if you want to. Yep, so now you guys see it. This is what I was talking about. So you need enough of the drive shaft sticking out so that this happens. The locking tab can go and sit in place. The new sprocket added. Hopefully this should do it. New chain, is it? So cleaned and washed chain. I don't really lube the chain like I've always said. It's only the WD-40 and cleaning. And the front sprocket all done and dusted. Went out for a test ride, and the bike just runs flawlessly, smooth as ever. Well, that should be it. If you guys like the video and if you like how the Hemi looks, then this should be it. I shall see you guys on another one. Until then, Ben signing out for now. Ciao.